Hello there, everyone. TheAndrata here, and welcome back to episode 79 of our Enigmatica 6 Expert Let's Play series, where today we are working on getting modular routers set up and automating our energizing orb with them. Pretty cool. Nice compact setup. I like it. I love it. Let's get started. Welcome back, my friends, my pals, my amigos, to another wonderful day here in the world of the TheAndrata, where if you look at our map, we got a lot of creepers like all over the place on our stuff. Like, what the heck are all these creepers doing in my house? Get out of here. Not that they can do anything because we have that trinket that stops them from blowing up, but still, I don't want them near me. Get out of here. How did you survive, by the way? Bam. I'm a sniping god. I should do a montage of all my snipes. Yeah, check that out. Anyway, I just wanted to take care of those guys because they were on my map and they're bothering me. We also have some like Wilden stalkers and stuff, but Mr. Carroll will take care of them if they decide to come over into our area and, get too aggressive. Today, we're going to continue off where we left last episode with working on our stuff and things and all the goodness that is stuff and things. What I want to do is check out, because we now have the ability. I went ahead and did the thing I said. I crafted some more blaze crystals, so we upgraded to blazing tier for our energizing rods. I also added an additional 2. We have the blazing crystals, so I can go ahead and actually accept the quest. And I made a few extra that are sitting in our system. We actually have quite a few quests to collect, so let's go ahead and do the thing. Sure. Boop. There we go. We're going to do the thing, collect all our quest rewards. That way we can just have them all sit there. And you can see what we're going to work on today. It is going to be modular routers. Steel casing, router, Ender Dragon trophy, all kinds of cool stuff. What did we get? Let's go here. Okay, so we got an elite tier installer from Mechanism. This is actually pretty good to have. That's fantastic. I like that reward. Basic mechanical pipe. Speed upgrades from Refined, we like that because they are quite expensive. Carbuncle shards, a copper can which contains 1 single ingot of molten hepatizon. Okay, steel casing. We got a crafter which actually is going to come in handy, though I may have made one already. Yeah, well, we got an extra. Some ender pearls, an ender dragon trophy, some ice, a machine base. Those are nice because they're a little bit of a pain, and we're good to go. And an elite tier installer. I like it a lot. Sweet. Okay. So what I want to work on today is getting this automated, right? Because we talked about last episode, we set this up and everything, but it's kind of a pain to have to manually do anything if I need like blazing crystals, if I need anything. But we got it done so that we get the upgraded power. But it looks like, is it nighttime? No. Just these have no power in them, which slightly concerns me. The pipes have no power. I don't know why the pipes wouldn't have power. Because these things are all full, but okay. It just seems like it's like draining all the power out of these for some reason. And I don't want to I wish this told me how much power was being used. Because it's just generally this backfills. Like this is backfilled, right? This is not. Which kind of makes me feel like power is like voiding. Like these are voiding power in there instead of storing it. I don't know. Whatever. If it becomes an issue, it becomes an issue. We'll see what happens. But anyway, so we have this set up, but right now the way that it's set up, we can only run 1 item at a time, and we can't deal with any crafts that require 2 of the same item like we just did with our blazing crystals. And sure, yes, it was mentioned in my Discord, I could set up another one of these with another stack limiter of 2, and I could have put the specifically for the blaze crystals, I could have put the blazing crystals. I could have put the blaze fiber in one of the barrels and then the blaze honeycombs in another barrel that had a stack limiter of 2. So I just put the one here and then the other one here, and it would have worked. I didn't think about doing that yesterday, but I want to automate this with refined storage so that way we don't even have to worry about it. We can just have it set up and do the thing. And so to do so, we are going to use modular routers. Modular routers is a fantastic mod system that allows for basically wireless transfer of stuff and things and all kinds of stuff. And you may think, why aren't you moving around, TheAndrata? What's going on? I'm trying to look up. I had a the Enigmatica 6 wiki had information on this, a whole detailed guide, and I got to pull it up. So we'll be right back. And I got it. Lost internet. Hopefully, we'll actually even be able to upload this episode. We'll see how things work out. Because apparently there's a tropical storm coming here to Florida. Spectrum just emailed me saying that internet may be going out. And guess what? Internet went out. So, yeah, whatever. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Modular routers. So modular routers is a nifty little mod that, like I said, allows a lot of different things. If we take a look at modular routers, it is used for a lot of times item movement, wireless like item transfer and stuff, but it can be used for a lot more. It can be used for fluid transfer. It can be used to vacuum up. It can be used to trash things. It can be used for energy transfer. It is a auto placer, auto breaker, a dropper, a miner, a power transfer. They can become immune to the wither, so you can set up a wither builder with this. And as a activator module, a player module, so it simulates a player. Like, it's got a lot of different things to it. And they're fairly easy to set up. Well, normally it's fairly easy to set up. In this pack, they're actually quite expensive. Not difficult, not really that expensive. It just has a lot of little minor crafting. So basically what we need to do is we're going to compact this over a blaze heater. And we're going to use an observer, a circuit backplane, and an augment core. As you can see, I have observer, circuit backplane, and I'm planning on making 4 of these things. The complicated part is this augment core. So if we take a look over here on my to-do list, I have our augment core. In order to make the augment core, we're going to use our engineer's blueprint. We already have this. This is the one that makes the vacuum tubes, and augment core is one of the items. And in order to make this, we need blank upgrades, blank modules, blazing capacitors. So we just tiered into this, so we're good to go. And then any sort of any wire. To make this, we need blank modules, which is any sort of aluminum plate, energized steel, steel wire, and again, same blueprints, and then blank upgrades, which is electrum, aluminum, and copper wire. So we have the ability to craft all of this. I went ahead and made all of this, and I decided I'm going to make myself 32 of each of the modules, the upgrades and the blank modules here. That way we have some spares, because we're going to make a few of them here, and then we're going to, do the thing. So let's go ahead and pop upstairs to our thingamadingy, the engineer's table. Yeah, this thing. We're going to go ahead and grab our blueprints out of here. And remember, the reason I don't leave my blueprints in here is because I had the problem with this table deleting all my items. So I always make sure to take my stuff out of here in case I break this. And for some reason, it voids my items out like it did the last time, because I was not happy. Not a happy camper. So we're going to go ahead and get as many of these blank modules as we can, which should be... Oh. What? Oh, I guess I thought I crafted an... Yeah, I thought it was 2 aluminum plates per, which should only be a craft of 32, but that made 64. And I only put... Oh, 2 makes... It makes 2 per craft. I did not notice the 2 per craft portion of things. Oh yeah, look, I just got a text from Spectrum. There's a service outage in your area. Thanks. Thanks, guys. What do I pay you for? Bam. Okay, so we got 64 of each. Take these out. We're good to go. And then we just got to go ahead and go over to our blaze area and feed our blaze with our compactor. Again, still infinite power over here. I'm afraid, like, if I break this pipe, that's what's going to change my power. So I'm just not going to ever touch this again. This is literally going to be how things are forever. So what I need to do is swap these around. I should just make another blaze burner and put it under here, and then I wouldn't ever have to worry about it. But hey, all it is I have to capture a blaze, and I literally have a blaze spawner up top in my base. But I just don't want to, I just don't want to. I also forgot that I have access to my system here because I'm going up here to grab coal. But I literally have access to all of my stuff with refined storage here. Okay, so what we need to do is grab these, and we are using what to make these? Augment cores, which is made... Oh, haha, we got to go back home. I missed a step. Let's get these back out. Bam. We're going to do this, and then augment core. Haha. I knew I had more. I knew there was more crafting to do, and I ended up with way more of these than I expected, but that's okay. So if we can even take our hopper, make this easy on ourselves by throwing everything into the hopper. So all we got to do is grab this, and only 4 of these. Throw all of this in here and give this guy a little bit of heat. It was also mentioned to me in my Discord that by Night Shard, this can hold 16 of each item. So good to know. Bam. Okay, and there we go. Easy as that. We can set this up. We can put this back where everything belongs. And we have our modular routers. And so with these modular routers, we're going to be able to automate this blaze spawner thingamabobby. Not blaze spawner. What am I thinking? The blazing capacitors, the energizing orb. That's the word that I'm looking for. Just cleaning up our mess here, and we're good. So if we head back home, we now have our modular routers crafted. Bam, we can take that off our list. We have our augment cores, we have our blank modules, and we have our blank upgrades. So now we actually need to go ahead and get the upgrades that we're going to need, because modular routers without modules really doesn't do anything. You need modules to tell modular routers what to do. And so we have queued up in our queue here to craft a few modules. So what we're going to do is we're going to be making sender modules and polar modules. And the name of these basically tells you what it's going to do. A sender module is going to send items, and a polar module is going to pull items from an inventory and then send to an inventory or another modular router or a crafter or whatever, an inventory that you can have access to. And what we want to do is upgrade our modules to Mark II, because the base tier only allows movement within the space of the modular router. And so what I mean by that is if we set down this modular router, it will be able to place here, 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 you know, the facings of the modular router. By upgrading to level 2, though, we can actually wirelessly send items. So we can have it transfer from here to this chest, or this chest, or this chest, or this furnace. We can even automate the furnace with these if we wanted to. So we're going to upgrade to tier 2 because it's going to make things easier. And as soon as you place it down, it has NBT data, so just keep that in mind. We'll go ahead and throw the other 3 in here because I don't need them for this process. So we're going to go ahead and work on getting these modules. And again, I have crafted everything that we need for them in here. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and grab the other stuff that we're going to need out now for the automation of this. So we can go ahead and throw these things. So the module is going to require blank modules and high extraction modules. So I went ahead and made 6 of those. And then the polar is going to require retrievals because it's going to be retrieving items. So it makes sense. So what we're going to do is combine these in a blast furnace or alloy kiln, sorry, with some blank modules. So let's grab our blank modules. I'm going to need a total of 6 of these. Oh, maybe I should grab these out too then. I guess that's a quest that didn't get completed. And you know what? I actually need 6 more, 12. I'm making extras because it's expert. We always make extras and expert. So we're going to go use our alloy kiln up here. I believe I'm going to need some coal coke for this, so we should have that. I think it's going to be 1 per craft, isn't it? So we're going to do half of you and you. And please don't take absolutely forever. Only take slightly forever. Okay, not too bad. So, how y'all doing? Just standing around here, watching the Andrata craft some polar modules and blank modules. Yeah, you know, we're doing good. We're doing good. I'll come back. And there we go. Done. Crafted. Bada bing, bada boom. We're good to go. And it did not use nearly as much coal coke as I thought it was going to. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these upgraded. Upgrading is fairly easy. So all we have to do is take these sender modules and we're just going to combine them with a Corporeal Spark. Highly recommend doing it with this recipe where you convert 4 over with 1 Corporeal Spark. Saves you on your sparks. Not that they're super duper complicated to make, but it does require some lightning channeling and everything. So it's just easier for your sake to do it this way. And then unfortunately, the recipe doesn't match how many you make. So we're going to end up with 2 extra. But that's okay. I'm not going to cry about it too much. Yeah, Don't know what happened there, but we're good. Okay, and then we're just going to use these. And then finally, we're going to need a redstone module, which is going to require a comparator. And bam. A detector module. Yes. Okay. So then we should be good to go to set all of this stuff up. So what we're going to do is pop down here and we're going to tear down our setup, tear down the wall. We can put all of this stuff away because we're no longer going to need it. And then we're going to automate this and set this up. And in order to do so, I'm going to go ahead and shift things around just a little bit because I need my crafter to point into the energizing orb. And I guess I could have it. I probably could have it sit there, couldn't I? Yeah, I could. Yeah, it could probably still sit here. And I know it's been mentioned to me a couple times in the comments and in Discord that I can move these underground and they could actually, you know, just be there. But I like being able to see them. It makes it easier to upgrade too overall. So I'll leave them here. It's okay. So let's go ahead and get our crafter. So the first thing that we want to do is get our crafter, and we want it to face not the incorrect way. We want it to face the right way. Morphing tool is going to be your friend, or the refined storage wrench, because it can rotate these, and we need it to face into the energizing orb. Okay. And then we need to set our energizing orb specifically to redstone pulse inserts next set. And what this is going to do is when the crafter gets a pulse, it's going to push the next set of items into the energizing orb. And that is the key to this entire craft. You must set it up this way. Otherwise you will, well, it's not going to work. It ain't going to work. So just set it up that way to save yourself a little bit of hassle. We're going to go ahead and connect this up to our system. Bam, bada bing, everything's online. We're good to go. And then we can go ahead and set up our modular router. Now, facing of the modular router doesn't really make too much of a difference. It will make it easier for you if you know the facing when you go to actually configure your modules, but it's not like super duper absolutely important. You can always adjust it later. So what we're going to do is configure our polar module, and we're going to say, hey, polar module, you are going to pull from our energizing orb. Okay. You're going to pull from here, and we're going to put you into our buffer. Okay. Bam. Then we are going to have the sender send to our interface. So it's going to go, bam, sender, send to the interface. So it's going to pull from here, send to our interface. And then lastly, we're going to have our detector module, and we're going to configure the detector module just as is. And we're going to tell it to send a signal down. To configure your module after you place it in here, because this doesn't have a, you can't shift right click. You can right click to configure this, or if it's already inside of a machine, if you press C or Charlie, you can configure the module once it's installed. And what we want to do is say you're going to send a signal down. And the way that modular routers works is it iterates through its modules. So basically, that is our setup. Like, it's pretty much done at this point. We really don't have to do anything really else for this. What this is going to do is we're going to create a recipe. Crafter is going to push the items into the energizing orb. And remember, the energizing orb has two inventory slots. It has its crafting slots. Once it's done, it has an output slot. And so the modular router is not going to pull from this until it moves to the output slot. It's not going to pull from the crafting slots. Input slot, output slot. So this is going to push into the input of the energizing orb. Energizing orb is going to get energized, or the items are going to get energized. They're going to move from here into our modular router because our polar module is going to pull them. Then it's going to iterate to the next step, which is the sender module. It's going to send the items into the interface, and then our detector module is going to detect that it did something. It moved on. This worked, and so it's going to send a pulse down, trigger the next craft. Makes sense? So let's test this in theory and see make sure that it works. We're going to validate our setup here, because I haven't ever automated the energizing orb with modular routers before. We've done it with cyclic, we've done it with pretty pipes, we've done it with just vanilla. So we've done it quite a few different ways. This is the first time with modular routers, which shows how dynamic Powah is, you can automate it fairly simply with a lot of different mods. You don't necessarily need anything super duper specific. So no matter what mod pack you're playing in, if they don't have modular routers, you could use other things. So let's go ahead and go to our patterns, and we're going to go ahead and say, first off, our first recipe is going to be energized steel. Okay, so we need to go ahead and get this done. Then we're going to go ahead and do at Powah, we need blazing crystals, which is this recipe here. I do have a little bit of extra blaze fiber in our system as well, so we'll be able to do this. And I should have blaze honeycomb. If not, we can go pull it out of one of those inventories because we will have it. Let's check out Neotic tier. What are you going to require? Nothing that we have access to. Spirited, Osiris God shards, and uranium dust. Technically, we actually could completely skip Neotic tier and jump right to Niotic. Or I'm sorry, we can skip Neotic. We can skip Neotic and go to Niotic. No, we can skip Neotic and go to Spirited because we have Osiris God shards and uranium in plenty. And then lastly, there's nitro crystals, which are going to require weak blood shards. They're going to require us to fight an Ifrit from occultism, which, as you can see, I have the ritual on here because we're going to be doing this soon. And we're going to upgrade to a tier 4 orb, and we're going to work on this recipe that gets us 10 because, yeah, I like that versus that. One of these turns to 10 or one of these turns to 1. Not fun. Okay, so do I have these two recipes? Because that's about all we can do right now. So we're going to pop downstairs, throw these in here. And yes, I could have used my crafter manager, but I want you guys to be able to see that this works. So if we go ahead into our system and we say, hey, energize steel, I would like to request, let's do 5 of you. Bam. So we have the stuff available. It's going to craft 6 and it should work. So it's going to do the thing, pulls it out, puts it in, and then it should send the next one. Hey. Why you no work? Excuse me. Sir, you just made me a liar to all of my friends. Why you not work properly? Direction down. Oh, because I put these in the wrong order. I needed this to be in this order. Let's go ahead. I skipped that step in reading the recipe. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go down here. Hey, pretend that never happened. Let's do this. Craft. Yeah. Bam. Now it's going to pulse. Send the items. Yeah, there we go, because it's doing it in order. It detected that happened. There we go. Now we're cooking with oil. Sweet, and it worked. Craft is completed. So if I say I want some blazing crystals, so let's say I want 8 of these. Do I have enough? Yeah, I have enough stuff for 8 blazing crystal. There we go. Look, it put 2 honeycomb in there because that's what the recipe calls for. It's not putting any extra. Pulls the blazing crystal out, puts 2 more in. We have an automated energizing orb. And the cool thing with this is too, is if we don't like this look, this is a very compact setup, by the way, like 3 blocks. I could even, we could make this even more compact if I were to, we could put the interface here, raise this up 1, really doesn't matter. It would, and then it would only take a 2 block space. We could even put the, no, we had the modular router is going to have to stay on top of the crafter. But yeah, we could easily like rearrange this to make it much more compact. And we can even entangle our energizing orb, which I'm considering doing. We can entangle the energizing orb and then put all this whole setup could be, including these, could be like behind a wall. And then we could just watch items magically appear in our energizing orb and get pulled out. And all of this stuff is actually happening behind the scenes because it's pointing into the entangled block instead of this. I don't know if I'd be able to move these though. I don't know if these would detect the entangled block. Probably not, but we could move this whole setup elsewhere and not ever have to worry about it. But yeah, that's automating the energizing orb with modular routers, and it's a quick overall view of modular routers itself. And we can use modular routers for a lot of different things. Having it is going to be handy for future setups and automations, like occultism. We could automate occultism with this. There's what's called a distributor module from modular routers. a distributor. So we can have a modular router that gets pulls from a barrel all of the items that we use for an occultism ritual. Crafter pointed into a barrel. Barrel takes all those items, or the modular router pulls the items from that barrel, and then we use this distributor module, which could be looked to or combined to the different inventories or the different bowls on the ground, and it pushes them out to those little bowls. And then we'd have to figure out the binding of the Jinni or something like that, and then sending it to the center bowl in the correct order or whatever. But yeah, like modular router is super powerful. We can do it. But anyway, that's going to be the end of today's episode. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate it, and it really does help out the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.